Hello friends, welcome to Prashant IAS. So friends, in the last class, we have completed our discussion till the birth of galaxies and stars. Okay, so till now we have studied about the birth of stars. Now friends, from this class, we will continue our discussion with the death of stars. Okay, so in this class, I will teach you that how a star dies. So friends, let's begin. Now friends, let's suppose that this bigger circle, this is a star, okay? And this smaller circle within the star is the core of the star, okay? So what is this smaller circle? So this smaller circle is the core of the star. Now friends, in the last class, I have already told you that most of the nuclear fusion reaction takes place in the core of the star, okay? So what happens that hydrogen atoms joins to form the helium, okay? So what happens that hydrogen atoms fuse together to form the helium, and in the process what happens that the energy is released, okay? So what happens in the process of nuclear fusion reaction? So the hydrogen nucleus, okay? So if we talk more precisely, then we can say that hydrogen nuclear fuses to forms the helium nucleus. And what happens in this process that the energy is released, and this energy is released in the form of light and heat, okay? So what we get from our sun is light as well as heat. Why? Because actually the nuclear fusion reaction is taking place inside the core of our sun, okay? So what happens in the nuclear fusion reaction that the nuclei of hydrogen fuses to give birth to helium, okay? And in the process what happens that energy is released. Now friends, I have already told you in the last class that what happens that this star is very massive, okay? The mass of this star is very high, and what happens by the virtue of the mass of star that the gravitational force comes into play due to the mass of stars. And I have already told you that gravitational force is directly proportional to mass. So what happens that the gravitational force of any object is directly proportional to the mass of that object. It means that if the mass of the object will increase, so the gravitational force of that object will also increase. And as we all know that the mass of the stars is very high, so the amount of gravitational force in the stars is also very high. And what this gravitational force tries to do, that this gravitational force compresses the star, okay? What this gravitational force tries to do, that this gravitational force actually tries to contract the star, tries to compress the star, okay? So what is the role of gravitational force? So gravitational force actually acts inward in the star. Okay? So it tries to compress the star, it tries to make the star smaller, it tries to contract the star, okay? Now friends, after this, I have already told you one more thing, that what is happening, that inside the core nuclear fusion reaction is taking place, okay? And what is the byproduct of nuclear fusion reaction? So the energy is released in the nuclear fusion reaction, okay? And this energy is released in the form of heat and light, okay? So what is happening inside the core of a star, that the nuclear fusion reaction is taking place, and what is happening that the energy is being released. So friends, what happens that the energy released due to nuclear fusion reaction, this energy exerts an outward force on the star, okay? So please see on the screen that what happens that as the energy is released in the nuclear fusion reaction, so this energy actually, okay, so I want to tell you one thing, that here I will not take any technical word. Why? Because actually we are not studying physics, we are studying geography. So if I will take any technical word, then the students from non-science background will find it difficult to understand. So I will try to make you understand in a very simple language, okay, with the help of very simple examples, okay? So what happens friends, that this energy released due to nuclear fusion reaction, this energy exerts outward force on the star, and this energy actually tries to expand the star, okay? So now here, as you can see, there are net two forces. The first force is the force of gravitational force, Okay, so what gravitational force is trying to do? So the gravitational force is actually trying to contract the star. Gravitational force is pushing the star inward. Okay, it is trying to contract the star. But on the other hand, there is one more force. So the second force is the force which is exerted due to the energy released by nuclear fusion reaction. So this force is actually trying to expand the star. What is this force is doing? This force is actually trying to expand the star. This force is acting outward. Okay, so now you have to see two things. The first force is acting inwards. Okay, and the first force is trying to contract the star, means trying to make the star smaller, compressing the star. Now if we talk of second force, then this second force is acting outward. Okay, so this is acting outward, means it is trying to expand the star. So this is a common sense that if one force is acting inward and another force is acting outward, then they are opposite forces. Okay, so which type of forces they are? They are opposite forces, means both of these forces are acting opposite to each other. Okay, or in simple words you can also say that both of these forces are enemy of each other. So in layman language we can also say that both of these forces are the enemy of each other. And definitely you know that what enemy does. So the very basic role of the enemies is to kill each other. Okay, so what enemies does? So enemies try to kill each other. So definitely, as both of these forces are the enemies of each other, both of these forces are the opposite forces. So what will happen? That this outward force, okay, this outward force will cancel the effect of gravitational force. Okay, so this outward force which is actually trying to expand the star, this outward force will cancel the effect of the inward gravitational force, and this outward force will actually stop the gravitational force from contracting the star further. And what will happen? That the size of star, okay, size of star will become stable. So what will happen? That the outward force which is generated due to the energy released by the nuclear fusion reaction, this force will cancel out the effect of the gravitational force, and this force will actually stop the gravitational force from further compressing the star, from further making the star smaller. So what will happen? That the size of the star will become stable, and when a star becomes stable, so we call it as a main sequence star. Okay, so the star becomes a main sequence star. For example, currently our sun is also a main sequence star. Okay, so now this star is in a stable phase, this star is in a stable stage, so we will call that this star is a what type of star? Main sequence star. Now friends, let's move further. So friends, now I will ask one question from you. Okay, so what is the basic material from which this star is made? Okay, so what is the basic material? What is the basic material of this star? So you will say that, sir, definitely this is a very simple question, and definitely this star is made up of basically hydrogen. Okay, so I have told you that actually star takes birth from the stellar nebula, and remember the previous lecture. So I have taught you in the previous lecture that stars actually takes birth from the stellar nebula, and the stellar nebula is mostly made up of hydrogen gas. Okay, even though there is helium gas also, but the main component of the star is hydrogen. Okay, so even though stars also have helium, but the hydrogen is present in abundance in the star. Hydrogen is the main fuel of the star. Okay, so you will say that, sir, the basic material or the main material of this star is hydrogen gas. Okay, so the main material of this star is what? Hydrogen gas. And how the nuclear fusion reaction is taking place in the core? So you will say that, sir, the hydrogen nucleus, okay, the hydrogen nucleus are fusing to give birth to helium nucleus. Okay, and in the process what is happening? That the energy is being released. Okay, so what is happening? That the hydrogen nuclei are fusing to form helium nuclei. Okay, so the hydrogen nuclei are fusing to give birth to helium nucleus, and in the process what is releasing? So the energy is being released in the process. So friends, what is the fuel of this star? What is the fuel out of which this star is giving us light and heat? What is the fuel which this star is burning to produce the energy? So definitely you can say that, sir, this is a very simple question, and the very basic fuel of the stars is hydrogen. Okay, so what is the basic fuel of a star? Basic fuel of any star is hydrogen. So stars burn their hydrogen fuel to give us heat and light, to emit energy. But friends, now I have one more question, and my question is that definitely the basic fuel of this star is hydrogen, and this star is burning hydrogen to give energy. Okay, so my question is that, is the fuel, okay, is the reserve of hydrogen of the stars is unlimited or not? Okay, so my question is that whether the amount of hydrogen present in a star is unlimited or limited. Okay, so what is my question? So my question is that whether the amount of hydrogen present inside a star is unlimited or limited. So definitely you know that definitely you can say that, sir, this is also a very simple question, and definitely the amount of hydrogen present in the star, though it is very high, okay, it is very, stars has very high amount of hydrogen present in themselves, but then also the amount of hydrogen present in any star is limited. Okay, so the amount of hydrogen present in any star is not unlimited. So you have to remember that the amount of hydrogen present in the star is very limited. Okay, so you cannot say that it is very limited. So but definitely the amount of hydrogen present inside a star is in abundance, then also it is not unlimited. Okay, so the amount of hydrogen in a star is in abundance, but then also it is not unlimited. The amount of hydrogen present inside a star is limited. Okay, means, okay, so what conclusion we can draw from this story? Okay, what conclusion we can draw from this story, that the amount of hydrogen present inside a star is limited. So you can say that, sir, we can draw a conclusion that the amount of fuel inside a star is also limited. Why? Because the basic fuel of the stars is hydrogen. Okay, and as the supply of hydrogen is limited in the stars, so the amount of fuel present in the stars is also limited. Okay, and friends, definitely star is emitting light, star is giving us heat, or in other words, star is emitting energy due to the nuclear fusion reaction. And what is the fuel for nuclear fusion reaction? Hydrogen. And if the amount of hydrogen present inside the star, means if the fuel of the star is limited, then definitely stars are not immortal. Okay, stars are not immortal. Stars will also die one day. Okay, so just like as we are mortal, for example, the life of a man lasts till 68, 69 or 70 years. Okay, means the life of a man is limited. Similarly, the life of the stars is also limited. Stars are not immortal, stars are also mortal. So one day stars will also die. So these stars will die when all of their fuel is consumed. All of their fuel has been consumed. Okay, so when the fuel of the star will end, so the life of a star will also come to an end. For example, the life of our sun is 10 billion years. Okay, so what is the life of our sun? So the life of our sun is 10 billion years, and definitely the life of stars is much higher. Okay, or we can say that the life of a star as compared to the life of humans. Okay, why? Because the life of humans is 68, 69 or 70 years, but the life of a star is 10 billion years. Okay, for example, the life of our sun is 10 billion years. Okay, but the main point is that stars are not immortal. One day stars will also die. So now I will teach you that what is the process of the death of stars, or how the stars dies. Okay, so now we have to discuss our today's main topic, and our main topic is death of stars. So now let's begin our discussion with our main topic, death of stars. So friends, I have just told you that when the fuel of this star, means the hydrogen of the star, will come to an end. Okay, and how the hydrogen will come to an end? So definitely we know that star is continuously burning hydrogen. So what is happening, that the hydrogen nuclei are fusing and they are making helium nucleus. Okay, so hydrogen nuclei are fusing, so the stock of hydrogen is continuously becoming less and less in the star. So what stars are doing, stars are using their hydrogen fuel, stars are burning their hydrogen to produce helium plus energy. Okay, so what happens, friend, that okay, after a very long period of time, for example, if the life of our sun is 10 billion years, okay, so the life of our sun is 10 billion years. Okay, now friends, our sun has already lived half of its life, means our sun has already lived 5 billion years. So what is the age of our sun? The age of our sun is 5 billion years. Now our sun has how many years left? So our sun has only next 5 billion years left. Okay, definitely 5 billion years is a very big time. Okay, 5 billion years is a very big time. Okay, but then also after 5 billion years our sun will also die. But how our sun will die? Our question is that how our sun will die. So what will happen, friends, that after next 5 billion years, entire hydrogen present inside the core of our sun will come to an end. Okay, because sun is continuously burning hydrogen, sun is continuously converting the hydrogen to helium and producing energy. So what will happen after 5 billion years from today, that all the hydrogen reserve, all the hydrogen inside the core of the sun will come to an end. Okay, so are you getting my point? What will happen, that hydrogen inside the core, okay, hydrogen inside the core of sun, hydrogen inside the core of sun will be exhausted. Okay, so hydrogen inside the core of the sun will be exhausted. Exhausted means it will come to an end, means there is no more hydrogen present inside the core of the sun. Now friends, when the hydrogen inside the core of the sun will come to an end, so one problem will be created. Okay, so in the beginning of this lecture, I have told you that there are two forces. The first force is gravitational force, and this gravitational force actually works inwards, means it tries to compress the star. And the second force is the force which is produced due to the energy produced by nuclear fusion reaction. So this force, okay, this force actually acts outwards, and both of these forces cancel out each other and the size of the star becomes stable. But now there is one thing missing. Definitely the sun has mass. Why? Even though the hydrogen is burnt, then also what is happening, that then also helium is present inside the sun. Okay, so even though the hydrogen is burnt, but then also actually what has happened, the hydrogen has actually converted into helium. Okay, and some mass has lost in the form of energy. Okay, but then also the sun is very massive. Why? Because the most of the mass of hydrogen is converted into helium, and a very little amount of mass, very little amount of mass has converted into energy. Okay, so remember the equation given by Einstein. What was that equation? It was E equal to mc square, means energy can be converted into mass and mass can be converted into energy. So what happens in nuclear fusion reaction, that actually mass converts into energy. But definitely what happens, that during hydrogen fusion reaction, most of the mass of hydrogen is converted into helium and a very little amount of mass is converted into energy. So what I want to explain you is that still sun is very massive. Why? Because now sun is having helium. Okay, so sun is very massive. So gravitational force is that force which comes into play due to gravitation. Gravitational force is the force which comes into play due to the mass of an object. Okay, and sun is having mass. So what will happen, friends, that this gravitational force is continuously trying to compress the star. Okay, so what is happening, this gravitational force is continuously trying to compress the star. Okay, but friends, now nuclear fusion reaction has stopped in the core. Okay, so now you have to pay attention that what has happened, that nuclear fusion reaction has actually stopped in the core. Why? Because there is no more hydrogen to burn. So what has happened, actually the force which is trying to push the star outward. Now this force is missing. Okay, so if this force is missing, so what will happen, that this gravitational force will bring the rays, and this gravitational force will try to compress the star. And what will happen, that this gravitational force will try to compress the core of the star at a very high speed. Okay, so for example, let's suppose if this is the size of the core. Okay, so gravitational force will try to compress, gravitational force will compress the core, and core will become smaller and smaller. Okay, so what will happen, with time core will become very very small. Okay, but friends, okay, so what is happening, that core is contracting. So the first event which will happen after the end of hydrogen, means after 10 billion years. So what is that first event? So the first event is that the core will contract, core will become smaller, gravitational force will compress the core, so the core will become small and small, core will be compressed. Okay, but friends, you can see that I have also, okay, so I have told you that the hydrogen fuel is exhausted in the core, but still hydrogen is left in the shell outside the core. Okay, so hydrogen is still present in the shell of the star outside the core, means hydrogen is present outside the core. So definitely if hydrogen is present outside the core, so the nuclear fusion reaction will take place outside the core. Okay, so nuclear fusion reaction will take place outside the core. And what will happen in nuclear fusion reaction? So in nuclear fusion reaction, energy will be released. Okay, so what will happen, energy will be released. And I have told you that this energy, okay, so this energy actually tries to push the star outward. Okay, so what happens, that this energy tries to push the star outward. So the second event which will happen, that the outer shell of the star, okay, this outer shell of the star will expand. Okay, so what will happen, that this outer shell of the star expand, and the star will become very very big. Okay, for example friends, when our sun will reach this stage, then our sun will actually eat the planet Mercury. Okay, so the sun, the size of the sun will become equivalent to the orbit of Mercury. So our sun will actually eat the planet Mercury. Okay, so what happens, that the star has actually become very very big. So this stage is called as red giant stage. Okay, so what is this stage? This stage is called a red giant stage. Now why the star is called as giant? Because due to this nuclear fusion reaction, what has happened, that the outer shell of the star has expanded and star has become very very big. The size of star has become very very big. So star seems like a giant, star become very huge, so star seems like a giant. That's why this star is known as red giant. Okay, for example friends, you can see a diagram on this screen, that if this is the original size of our sun, so you can see that core is big enough. Okay, and the size of the star is definitely this is the original size of the sun. So what will happen in the red giant stage, that the core will become very very small. Why? Because there is no nuclear fusion reaction taking place in the core to counter the effect of gravity. So gravitational force will actually compress the core and core will become very small. But what is happening, that in the outer shell of the star, okay, so in the outer shell of the star, nuclear fusion reaction is still taking place. So the energy released due to nuclear fusion reaction will push the outer shell of the star outwards. So what will happen, that star will expand, star will become, the outer shell of the star will expand. So two things are happening simultaneously, core is becoming smaller, core is being compressed, and the outer shell of star is expanding. Outer shell of star is becoming more and more big, it is becoming bigger. So the star will become very very huge. So that's why this star is known as red giant. Okay, now friends, I have explained you that why this star will called as giant. So this star will called as giant because the size of the star will become very very huge. But why this star is called as red giant? Okay, so what is the logic behind saying this star red? So friends, in your schools you all must have studied about VIVGAOR. So what is the full form of VIVGAOR? So V stands for violet color. Okay, I stands for indigo, B stands for blue, G for green, Y for yellow, O for orange, and R for red. Okay, so what happens friends, when we move from left to right, okay, when we move from left to right, so what happens, that the frequency reduces. Okay, so when we will move from violet color to red color, so what will happen, that the frequency of the radiation will be reduced, or in simple words we can also say that the energy is reduced. Okay, so what happened, that the energy is reduced. So violet represents very high energy. Okay, so violet colored light is very high energy. Indigo has less energy than violet. Blue is even more less energy than violet. Okay, green has less energy than blue. Bi has less energy than green. Orange has less energy than yellow, and red has the least amount of energy. Okay, so which color has the maximum amount of energy? Violet color. And red color has the least amount of energy. So friends, I have just explained you that what has happened, that the nuclear fusion reaction, okay, nuclear fusion reaction has actually stopped inside the core of the star. And I have already told you that the maximum amount of nuclear fusion reaction, or the main nuclear fusion reaction, actually takes place inside the core of the star. Okay, so the nuclear fusion reaction which is taking outside the core, okay, so the nuclear fusion reaction which is taking place outside the core, it is very less or negligible in compared to the nuclear fusion reaction which is taking place inside the core. Okay, so you can say that the amount of nuclear fusion reaction, okay, which takes place in core is actually very high as compared to the nuclear fusion reaction which takes place outside the core, or the nuclear fusion reaction which takes place outside the core of the star is less than the nuclear fusion reaction which takes place inside the core of the star. So you can say that most of the energy, okay, most of the energy of the star is produced by the core. Okay, most of the energy produced by the star is actually produced in the core, and if there is no nuclear fusion taking place in the core, then you can say that core is producing zero energy, core is producing no energy. So the entire energy is being produced by this nuclear fusion reaction. Okay, and definitely here the amount of nuclear fusion reaction is less. So what happens, that the star becomes cooler. Okay, so star is not cold, please do not misunderstand. Now also the temperature of the star is very high. Okay, now also the temperature of the star is very high. Star is very hot, but as compared to its previous stage, as compared to the main sequence star, now what is happening, that star is having less energy. So now star is having very less energy as compared to its main sequence star. Why? Because there is no nuclear fusion reaction going on in the core. So what happens, that star has less energy, and I have told you that red colored light is very less energetic light. So red color actually represents less energy. So due to less energy, star will become red, star will appear red. That's why this will be called as red giant. Why? Because the star is red in color, and moreover the size of the star is very big. So friends, this is red giant stage. Now I have already told you that the hydrogen, entire hydrogen of the core is already burnt. Okay, means now there is no more hydrogen inside the core of the star. Okay, so definitely what is there in the core of the star? So you will say that, sir, definitely all the hydrogen of the core is now converted into helium. So this core is full of helium. Okay, so which element is present in the core? Helium is present in the core. Why? Because all the hydrogen present inside the core was converted into helium. So now this core is full of which element? Helium. Okay, now friends, I have already told you that the gravitational force is continuously compressing the core. Okay, so and the core is becoming smaller and smaller. Okay, so with time what is happening, that the core is becoming smaller, and the gravitational force is compressing the core. Gravitational force is applying inward force on the core, so the core is contracting. Now friends, if you will compress something, then what will happen? Then definitely you will say that, sir, the pressure will increase. Okay, so this is a common sense. This is a common sense that if you will compress anything, if you will apply force from all the sides, if you will compress anything, then what will happen? Pressure will increase. Okay, now friends, if the pressure will increase, then what will happen? Temperature will also increase. Okay, so what is happening, that the gravitational force is compressing the core, so the pressure of the core is increasing, and as the pressure of the core is increasing, so the temperature inside the core is also increasing. Now friends, with time temperature will increase, and the time will come when the temperature will be so high, temperature will be so high that it will become, the temperature will become suitable for the helium fusion reaction to take place. Okay, so what will happen, that the temperature of star, the temperature of the core of star, okay, so here I am talking about core, so the temperature of the core of star will become so high that that temperature will become ideal for the helium fusion reaction to take place. Okay, so friends, the temperature required for the hydrogen fusion reaction is actually less as compared to the temperature required for the helium fusion reaction. Okay, why? Because actually hydrogen has one proton. Okay, hydrogen has one proton, whereas the helium nucleus has two protons. Okay, so I think that you all must know that hydrogen has one proton, whereas the nucleus of helium atom has two protons. Okay, and definitely the repulsion between two protons, okay, means two protons this side and two protons this side, so the repulsion between two protons is more than as compared to the repulsion between single proton, as in the case of hydrogen. Okay, so hydrogen atom, the nucleus of hydrogen atom only has single proton, but the nucleus of helium atom has two protons, so the repulsion is more, and to overcome this repulsion, more amount of energy is needed, more temperature is needed. That's why for helium fusion reaction to take place, the temperature required is much higher than the hydrogen fusion reaction to take place. Now what has happened, that the gravitational force has compressed the core, and as gravitational force has compressed the core, so the pressure of the core has increased. Moreover, with pressure the temperature of the core has also increased, and the temperature has become so high, that it became suitable for the helium fusion reaction to take place. And then what will happen, that the helium fusion reaction will start in the core. Okay, so what will happen, friends, that the helium nuclei will fuse together to form carbon. Okay, so how this reaction will take place, the helium nuclei will fuse together to form carbon. Okay, and definitely in the process energy will be released, and this energy will be released in the form of heat plus light. Okay, so the fusion process is very similar to that of hydrogen. That what happens, that the helium nuclei fuse to give carbon, okay, to give carbon nucleus, and what happens, that in the process energy is released. So friends, now you can say that once again the fusion reaction has started inside the core. Okay, so what has happened, that once again the fusion reaction has started inside the core of the star, and this core of the star again started producing enormous amount of energy. Okay, so what has happened, that the fusion reaction started inside the core, and this core of the star again started to produce enormous amount of energy. Now let's see what will happen further. So friends, again we have the same things, that definitely this star is having mass, and gravitational force is the force which comes into play by the virtue of mass. Okay, means it is a force which comes into play due to mass. So what will happen, that again this gravitational force will try to compress the star. Okay, so what gravitational force is trying, this gravitational force is trying to compress the star. Okay, but now friends, again what has happened, that the core has started releasing energy. Helium fusion reaction has actually started inside the core. Okay, so what will happen, that this energy, the force of this energy will act outward. Okay, so this force of energy will act outward, and this energy will try to expand the star. Okay, so what will happen, that gravitational force of attraction will try to contract or compress the star, and this gravitational force, the gravitational force will try to compress or contract the star, and the force which is created due to the energy released by helium fusion reaction, this force will act outward, means this force will try to expand the star. Okay, so this force will try to expand the star. The force which is released by the energy produced by helium fusion reaction. Now you can see that these two forces are again acting opposite to each other. Okay, so both of these forces are acting opposite to each other. The first force is the gravitational force of attraction, which is acting inward. Okay, so first force is gravitational force which is acting inward, and the which is trying to compress the star, and the second force is produced by the energy. Okay, produced by the energy produced by nuclear fusion reaction. Okay, and this force is acting outward, so this force will actually try to expand the star. So one force is acting inward, another force is acting outward, so again both of these forces will cancel out. So what will become that again the size of the star will become stable. Okay, so size of star will become stable again. Now friends, after this I have told you that the hydrogen present inside the star is limited in supply. Okay, so what happened that after some time hydrogen exhausted. Similarly, the helium present inside the star is again limited in supply. Okay, so the limited of helium present inside the star is also limited. So what will happen that after some time the fuel means helium will also exhaust. Okay, so what will happen after some time that the helium will also exhaust, means the reserve of helium will also come to an end. Okay, so now we have to see that what will happen once the entire helium is burnt by the star. Okay, and what is happening that the star is converting helium into carbon. So as the star is burning helium, so more and more carbon is getting accumulated inside the core of star. Okay, why? Because all the helium atoms are being converted into carbon. Okay, so what is happening that the helium is being converted into carbon. So as star will burn helium, so the amount of helium present inside the core of the star will reduce, and the amount of carbon present inside the core of the star will increase. Why? Because the star is converting helium into carbon. Okay, now friends, let's suppose that star has burnt all of its helium fuel. Okay, means now there is no more helium inside the core of the star. Now let's see what will happen. Now friends, once the star has burnt all of its helium fuel, then what will happen that now there is no more helium for nuclear fusion reaction to take place. So what will happen? Okay, so now there is no more fuel for nuclear fusion reaction to take place. So what will happen, friends, that the nuclear fusion reaction inside the core will stop. Okay, so if the nuclear fusion reaction inside the core will stop, so what will happen? Again the same story will be repeated, means that the gravitational force is again trying to compress the core. Okay, so what gravitational force is doing? Gravitational force is trying to compress the force, but now there is no force, there is no outward force to cancel out this gravitational force. Okay, so there is no outward force. And why there is no outward force? Because the nuclear fusion reaction has stopped, and that outward force was definitely the outcome of the nuclear fusion reaction. So due to no nuclear fusion reaction, what happened that the second force is now missing, means the outward force which was actually cancelling out the effect of gravitational force, now that force is missing. So what will happen that the gravitational force will win the race, and again the same process will be repeated, means again the gravitational force will start to compress the core at a very high speed. So what will happen that the compression of the core will be started. Okay, so once the helium is exhausted, so the compression of the core will be started again, means the core will become more and more small, core will become smaller. Okay, but friends, here also there is same story, means definitely there must be some helium which is present outside the core, means there must be some helium fuel remaining in the shell of the star. Okay, and the nuclear fusion reaction is still continue in the shell of the star, means outside the core. Okay, so what is happening that the nuclear fusion reaction has stopped in the core, but if we talk of shell of star, means outside the core, so here nuclear fusion reaction is taking place. Okay, and the energy which is produced by this nuclear fusion reaction, what it will do? So this energy will exert outward force on the star. So what will happen, friends? That that the star, means this outer shell of the star, will start expanding again. Okay, and star will become bigger and bigger, and star will become even more bigger than it was in the red giant stage. So again the star will start to expand. Again the expansion of the outer shell, of the outer layers of the star will start. Okay, so what will happen, that the star will start to expand. The expansion of the outer layers of the star will start. Okay, for example friends, if this is the size of star and this is the size of core in red giant stage, means after the exhausting, after entire hydrogen fuel has exhausted. Okay, so this is the size of star and this is the size of core after entire helium fuel is burnt by the star. Okay, so if this is the size of star after having burnt entire hydrogen fuel, then this is the size of star after having burnt entire helium fuel. So the size of star will become very very big and the core will become very very small. Okay, now friends, for example, if we talk of our sun, then in this stage our sun will even eat the orbit of earth. Okay, so the size of sun will become as big as compared to the orbit of earth. So sun will even eat the orbit of earth when sun will come to this stage. Now friends, till now this story is same for massive stars as well as the average and small stars. But after this step, the story will become different for massive stars and for average and small stars. Okay, now massive stars, now friends, the weight of our sun is known as 1 solar mass. Okay, so what is 1 solar mass? So 1 solar mass is equivalent to the weight of our sun. Okay, so what is 1 solar mass? 1 solar mass is equivalent to the weight of our sun. Now friends, the star whose weight is less than 8 solar mass, okay, the star whose weight is less than 8 solar mass will come into this category, means the average stars. Okay, so the stars whose weight is less than 8 solar mass means 8 times the mass of our sun. Okay, and less than that, so the stars whose weight is less than, okay, so I am saying less than 8 solar mass, these stars will come into average stars. Okay, so now first of all I will teach you about the average stars, and after that I will teach you about massive stars. The weight of massive stars is even much higher than this. Okay, so first of all I will teach you about the story of stars whose weight, whose mass, okay, story of stars whose mass is less than 8 solar mass. Okay, so these stars are actually known as low mass stars. These stars are actually known as low mass stars. Okay, and average stars and small stars both will come into this category. Okay, so these stars are known as low mass stars. So low mass stars are those stars whose mass is actually less than 8 solar masses. So first of all we will discuss about those stars whose mass is less than 8 solar mass. Means now we are discussing about average and small stars. So what will happen to average and small stars after this stage? So friends, now what is happening, that the helium fuel has been exhausted. Okay, so entire helium fuel has been exhausted and the core is full of carbon. Core is full of carbon, and what is happening, that the gravitational force of attraction is continuously compressing the core. So core is becoming smaller and smaller, and this layer, means the outer shell of the star, is continuously expanding. So the star is becoming bigger and bigger. Now friends, it is impossible for the stars whose mass is less than 8 solar mass to start the carbon fusion reaction, because actually the atom, means the nucleus of carbon, is so stable that it is impossible. Okay, the amount of energy needed for the carbon fusion reaction is very very high, which is not possible for these average and small stars to acquire. Okay, so what I am explaining you, so we all know that there are 6 protons in carbon atoms. Okay, so let's suppose this is a carbon atom, so definitely there are 6 protons in carbon atom, and this is another carbon atom, so this carbon atom is also having 6 protons. So the repulsion, okay, means the repulsion between these 6 and 6 protons is so high that the stars whose mass is less than 8 solar mass, these stars are not able to start the nuclear fusion reaction for carbon. Okay, so the repulsion between two carbon atoms is so high that the stars having mass less than 8 solar mass, okay, means average and small stars do not have the enough gravitational force of attraction to initiate the nuclear fusion reaction of carbon. Okay, so story of these stars will end with carbon, because now no nuclear fusion can be initiated, no nuclear fusion reaction can be started. Why? Because carbon elements, carbon atoms, carbon nucleus is so stable that it is impossible for the average and small stars to initiate the nuclear fusion reaction for carbon nucleus. Okay, now what will happen, friends, that this layer, means the outer layer of the star, will expand so much that it will become impossible for star to hold this layer. Okay, so it will become impossible for star to hold this layer, and then star will start losing mass, means this outer shell of the star will be thrown out of star. Okay, so star will lose its mass, star will lose its outer layer. Okay, so what will happen, that the star will expand, the outer layer of the star will expand to such an extent that it will become impossible for the star to hold its outer layer. So now the star will actually lose its outer layer. Okay, so star will lose its outer layer, so the outer layer of the star will actually move away from star, and what will be left behind? So the core will be left behind. Okay, so what is left behind? Only core is left behind, and the outer layer of star is actually now moved away from star. The outer layer of star has actually is actually now no more the part of star. The outer layer of star has moved away from star, it is detached from star, now it is no more a part of star. So now star is only left with core. Okay, and what is happening in the core? So definitely the gravitational force is continuously compressing the core, so core is becoming smaller and smaller with time. So what is happening, that the core is becoming smaller and smaller with time. Now friends, after so much of compression, what will happen, that a stage will come when no more compression is possible. Okay, so a stage will come when no more compression is possible by the gravitational force of attraction. Okay, so what will happen, that a stage will come when the gravitational force of attraction will fail to further compress the star, and then this star will be called white dwarf. Okay, so this star will be called white dwarf. So it is actually the core of the star. Okay, so this star will be called what? This will be called white dwarf. So this is the white dwarf star. Now friends, but a very basic question arises, that I have told you that now there is no more nuclear fusion reaction going inside the core. Okay, so there is no more outward force, and definitely this core is also having a mass, so definitely this core is having gravitational force. So this gravitational force earlier was compressing the star, but what has happened, that now gravitational force is not able to compress star anymore. Okay, so friends, the answer to your question is electron degeneracy pressure. So what happens, that as gravitational force of attraction tries to contract the core more, okay, means gravitational force further tries to compress the core. So what happens, that this electron degeneracy pressure do not allow the gravitational force to further contract the core, or you can also say that this pressure acts opposite to the gravitational force. It cancel out the effect of the gravitational force. Okay, and then it stops the gravitational force from further contracting the core, and then what happens, that the size of the core again becomes stable, and this stage of star is known as white dwarf. Okay, so this stage of star is known as which stage? White dwarf. But friends, then we have one more question, that what is this electron degeneracy pressure, and what is the meaning of this electron degeneracy pressure, from where this electron degeneracy pressure comes. So for example friends, let's suppose that this is the white dwarf star. Okay, so what is this? This is the white dwarf star. Okay, now definitely you know that gravitational force of attraction must be applying the inward pressure, must be applying inward force on this white dwarf star. Means gravitational force was actually must actually be trying to compress the white dwarf star. But friends, when this gravitational force will compress this star, so what will happen? Okay, now what are these? So actually, what are these? So these are the carbon atoms. What are these? These are the carbon atoms. Now this is the nucleus of carbon atom. Okay, so definitely in nucleus there are protons and neutrons, and these are the electrons around the carbon nucleus. Okay, so these all are the electrons around the carbon nucleus. Now friends, when the gravitational force will further compress the white dwarf star, so what will happen? That definitely, for example, let's suppose this is a carbon atom. Let's suppose this is a carbon atom and this is also a carbon atom. So now for further compression, there is a need that these two carbon atoms should come close. Okay, so there is a need that these two carbon atoms should come close, and definitely all the carbon atoms should come close, and when all the atoms will come close, then only the further compression is possible. Now what happens that when the gravitational force will apply compression on white dwarf star, so these two carbon atoms will come close, and when these two carbon atoms will approach each other, okay, now let's suppose that no space is left between these two atoms. Means all the atoms are very closely packed. All the atoms are very tightly packed. Tightly packed means there is no space, there is no place vacant, there is no space. Okay, all the atoms are tightly packed, all the atoms are very closely packed. So now what will happen, that these electrons are negatively charged, this is negatively charged, these all electrons are negatively charged. So now these electrons will prevent the atoms for coming closer. These electrons will repel each other. These electrons will apply the outward force. Okay, so these electrons will actually try to prevent the atoms from coming together. Why? Because all the electrons are negatively charged. Okay, so what happened, that these electrons will now prevent the atoms from coming further close. Okay, and when these electrons will apply this type of force, when these electrons will apply this type of pressure to prevent the atoms from coming close, so what will happen, that the gravitational force will not be able to compress the star anymore, and this is known as electron degeneracy pressure. Okay, so this is known as electron degeneracy pressure. Means actually electrons are not allowing the atoms to come further close. Okay, so they are actually cancelling the gravitational force of attraction, and this is the reason why in the white dwarf stage the size of the star becomes stable. Okay, now friends, at this stage the star is very dim glowing. Okay, means there definitely the star is glowing, but star is very dim. Okay, star is very dim, but after sometimes what happens, the star becomes totally black. Means star stops emitting light, star totally becomes black, and then you will call that now stars have become black dwarf. So black dwarf means when this white dwarf dim star stops emitting light, because in white dwarf state what happened, recently star has stopped doing nuclear fusion reaction, because prior to white dwarf stage star was doing nuclear fusion reaction, so star is having energy. Moreover, in white dwarf stage the gravitational force has just stopped to compress the star, and okay, so means in the earlier stage, in the prior stage of white dwarf, star was doing nuclear fusion reaction. Moreover, gravitational force were compressing the star. Okay, means there was kinetic energy in the star. Okay, so in white dwarf stage star also has some energy. Okay, the energy which was left due to nuclear fusion reaction, or energy which was left due to compression. So I have told you that what happens in compression, that when a gravitational force compresses the star, so what happens, that the molecules come closer, pressure increases, temperature increases, okay, and the kinetic energy increases. Okay, so due to the compression and nuclear fusion reaction, okay, so the nuclear fusion reaction and compression has just stopped. So in white dwarf stage also star is having some energy which was actually produced when star was doing nuclear fusion and when star was being compressed. But in white dwarf stage, what has happened, that now there is no more nuclear fusion, there is no more compression, but the energy from earlier nuclear fusion, from previous nuclear fusion, from the nuclear fusion which has happened in the past, and the compression which has happened in the past, that energy is actually stored in this white dwarf. So this white dwarf emits a very dim light. Okay, and definitely the temperature is also high. But what happens with time, because now there is no more source of energy, so what happens with time, that this white dwarf becomes cool. Okay, so what happens, that this white dwarf becomes cool and it stops emitting light and it totally becomes black, and when it becomes black, then it is known as black dwarf. Okay, now friends, the size of a white dwarf star is equivalent to the size of Earth. Okay, so the size of a white dwarf star is equivalent or just slightly bigger than the size of our planet Earth. Now friends, just imagine that the core of the sun is very very massive. Okay, the weight of the mass of the core of the sun is very very high. Okay, and definitely the core of the sun is also big, but now this core has turned into white dwarf, and the size of this white dwarf is very similar to the size of our planet Earth. Now what I want to say, that the amount of mass inside this white dwarf is very very high. Okay, the mass present inside this white dwarf star is very very high, because it is carrying entire mass of the core of sun. So the mass of this white dwarf is very very high, and definitely the size of Earth is very small as compared to the size of the core of sun. So definitely friends, the size, or we can say that, in other words we can say that the volume of this white dwarf star is very very less. Okay, now what is density? Okay, so what is the formula of density? So you all must have learned in your physics classes that density means mass upon volume, means density is directly proportional to mass and density is inversely proportional to volume. Means if you will increase the mass, then density will increase, and if you will decrease the volume, then also density will increase. Now in this condition, the mass is very high. Okay, so if mass will increase, so density will increase. The second thing is volume is very less, and if volume will decrease, so density will again increase. So what happened friends, that the density of this white dwarf star is very very high. Okay, so the density of this white dwarf is very very high density. Okay, so the density is very high. Now if I want to give you some idea, then I can say that 1 spoon, okay, I can say 1 teaspoon of material from this white dwarf star will weigh around 15 tons. Okay, so can you imagine this amount, how much massive, how much dense this white dwarf star is? Okay, means 1 teaspoon is a very small volume. 1 teaspoon is a very very small volume, and this 1 teaspoon of material from this white dwarf star actually weighs around 15 tons. 15 tons is a very high weight, it is a very high mass. Okay, and 1 teaspoon is a very less volume. Okay, so if you will take 1 teaspoon of material from this white dwarf star, then it will weigh around 15 tons. So I just want to explain that the density of white dwarf star is very high. Okay, and black dwarf is just when white dwarf stops emitting light. Okay, and black dwarf means when white dwarf star stops emitting light. Moreover, when white dwarf stars become cool. Okay, when it has become totally cool. Okay, so the basic difference between black dwarf and white dwarf is that when white dwarf star cools and when it stops emitting light, the dim light, then it becomes the black dwarf. So friends, with this, the story of the low mass stars whose mass is less than 8 solar masses is completed. Okay, so this is the entire life cycle and the death story of the low mass stars whose mass is less than 8 solar masses. Now friends, in the next class, I will teach you about the story of the massive stars. Story of the massive stars means the stars whose mass is higher than 8 solar mass. the stars whose mass is much higher than this. Okay, so the story of the massive stars is very much interesting as compared to the story of low mass stars, and it is also very exciting. Okay, so please be prepared in the next class. In the next class I will teach you about the story of the massive stars whose mass is more than 8 solar masses. Okay, whose mass is more than 8 solar mass. And after the life cycle of the massive stars, I will also teach you about the formation of neutron stars and the black holes. Okay, and definitely black hole is a very interesting topic. Okay, so I will teach you that how the black holes are formed and how the neutron stars are formed and what happens. So be prepared in the next class. Now we will meet in the next class. So friends, that's all for today. Now we will meet in next class. Friends, if you want to join me on Telegram and watch very special videos which I post on every Sunday, then you have to pay a very little amount for that. You can pay that amount by the first link given in the description of this video. So now friends, if you have liked the video, if you have enjoyed the video, then like the video, comment, subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, select all, and share this channel to all the people you know who are preparing for UPSC or any other state PSC. Now we will meet in next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you.